Hello, welcome back to my, YouTube channel. Occasionally, Let's Play. This time, I am playing Solasta, Crown of the Magister. I really like this game. I've been playing it for several years. I have built an extensive campaign called the Tomb of Doom. Let's take. Well, I want to leave these characters. Well, we shall depart and take a quick look at the Tomb of Doom. I have written my great American novel in the form of a video game. This video game lets you create campaigns that you can then slot into their Dungeons and Dragons type of world. It's actually using a D20 rule set, the same rule set that is extended by Dungeons and Dragons. There is so much content in this. I hope I am able to play through it without any bugs. And I think I can. I'm more worried about the very last, like the closing ending as everything comes to an end. That's the only part I'm really worried about. But you can see I added so much content. 110 custom monsters, 181 items, almost 300 variables, 129 dialogues, 161 quests, 77 locations. Quite a bit. 259 iterations of me updating this and checking stuff. If I ever change this to a 1, I think that means I'm gonna include the Palace of Ice content. This campaign took so long to make, and the Palace of Ice content released right as I was getting towards the end of it, so I'm not sure that I'll ever backport this to that. I might. But I'm also inclined to think that maybe I'll make a new campaign and then use that content. So worth knowing. All right, let's go back to the new adventure. Tomb of Doom. So it's a new campaign I've just put out there. The popular ones will get like 12,000 players, I think. But it takes time, and this game has been out for a little while. All right, so I have a bard. All right. I knew I wanted this rogue. I'm starting to wonder maybe I should have chosen different proficiencies. Oh well, let's just go with what we wanted. I've never played with a monk before. And I've never not played with like a healer, like a cleric or a paladin. But the bard has some healing characteristics. But as the person that created this, I definitely am concerned that I'm not bringing enough AoE. We're going to have to find out what my AoE situation's like with a bard as my main wizard. I hope she can cast some high-level stuff later. Huh. So I don't know what a monk is. Like, does a monk do the same stuff a barbarian does? And maybe if that's the case, then maybe I should substitute the barbarian. I guess the monk is the one I know the least amount about. I don't know how they play or anything. And I'm really stressing. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do without a wizard? So you know what? I'm just going to not stress. I'm going to figure out the monk some other time. I included content for monks, but I've never even played with one. I don't know how to play with one. I know I need like a decent mage though. Let's see here. A warlock. I think I'd be better off with like a sorcerer. That guy's a little too ugly looking. Who am I kidding? Looks just like me. Alright, I'm totally going to buff my stats in the hopes that I get some really powerful wizard. Ooh, how else get? Well, I already got a charisma character. Alright, we'll go with a high elf. They already get buffs to intelligence. Just as the person that created this if you don't have some powerful AoE character for the later part of the game, I think it might be challenging. At some point, I'm going to have to... This is my first playthrough with level 1 characters. I've been approaching this with like level 12 characters. So I'm going to keep it simple for myself. Greed, egoism. Greed and egoism. She can be nice, but mostly she wants to be the boss. Alright, so this is where you can super buff your characters depending on how many times you're willing to sit here and re-roll the dice. That was actually a really good roll, and I just threw it away because I'm a stupid person who makes foolish mistakes, like re-rolling dice like this. But, you know, this has always been a joy in video games. Video games of D&D is doing this. Like, you can't do this at the table. No one's going to let you sit there and roll dice forever to get your stats way up high. This is crazy. Alright, you don't need strength. And these stats are just pretty spectacular. So, let's see. If you optimize them. Yeah, that's good. And this character could be sort of a... Since I don't really have a high wisdom character, like a cleric or a... oh, I do have my... Well, I'm not bringing a monk. This character's replacing the monk because I'm unconfident about how to use a monk. Alright, so... Perception? Where is that? Oh, here. I already have it. Okay. Medicine definitely comes up. Religion comes up. Well, what should she speak? Dwarvish or... The cantrips are fairly well balanced, I think. I think they have these like Acid Splash, Firebolt, Shadow Dagger, Ray of Frost, and Shocking Grasp all have something to offer. I always do like having Sparkle. Oh, I get a bunch of cantrips to start. That's kind of fun. Sparkle is really kind of underrated. I feel like between Ray of Frost, Shadow Dagger, and Firebolt, you come off with 3 really good beam weapons. You know, so Firebolt is just your most long range and hardest hitting cantrip. If you're, you know, a Warlock has the best cantrip. Firebolt's the second most powerful cantrip after Eldritch Blast. But then Ray of Frost will actually hinder their movement. And then Psychic Knife, you don't roll to hit, but instead you roll against a save so that they can't take advantage of cover and things like that. Alright, so we get 6 spells. Definitely I'm going to just always have Mage Armor in my pocket. Magic Missiles is good kind of when you're new. I mean, when you're a young mage, but it really tapers off pretty quickly. Well, shield becomes more useful later. I hate burning spell slots on shield. I don't really know how to make people fall down in my campaign, so Featherfall is not really relevant, I think, when you make a custom campaign at this point. Detect magic, definitely. Alright, yeah. I was saying magic missiles is actually very helpful when you're like a level 1 or 2 character. You know, I always like this face. Actually, it's one of my favorites in the game. Number 6 is probably my favorite in this suite of faces. Let's just change it up. Let's little goblin lady, huh? I can see that working for me. What is body decoration? Alright, let's make her hair or eyes different. I already have a sort of bright blue-eyed character. What about like a really dark color? Do they have something really dark? I was hoping... I guess that is really dark. Let's see about green. Keep the green theme going. Give her those Elizabeth Taylor eyes. Yeah, that's pretty striking because it snaps against the green. But I think I want something milder, like that. All right, hair. It kind of reminds me of like 2006 or 7 indie emo haircut. Ooh. I don't think I've ever used that one before. Alright, let's just hurry up. Get you a hair. Hey, that's pretty dope. She actually has no muscles. I guess that looks a little older. I was like, is that age or is that like radiation burns? They really just turn up the shadows on the surface texture, huh?
Come on, you can do better.
Nice little warm-up.
I can't feel my fingertips.
No!
Well, she's one of the taller characters. Hungry for knowledge and a break to get into the Wizard League. Alright, they need a name. Grenice? Sure. Talda. Sure. Alright, Grenice. Alright. So I have rolled with a barbarian before. How about I roll with a regular fighter? Or am I really chickening out on the monk? I just don't know what a monk does. Do monks tank? Alright. And I'm worried that I maybe don't have good enough weapons for a monk. I've noticed that the monk weapons scale in a weird way. Like, you give them mild bonuses and they get a lot of power. Yeah, let's go Simeon. Alright. I'm going to do it. I'm going to play a monk on a bard. And I think this campaign has some really challenging fights at times, so I hope I'm up to it. I'm going to do some things that put you on the pathway quicker. This is sort of an open world campaign in that once you get your first collection of missions, you can kind of go in a variety of directions. You returned 3 days ago to a place the whole party loves, Happy Town. You beat the tourist rush by a few days and got to relax with party friend Vay. The warmongering far to the east weighs on him as the town prepares for an influx of visitors. Tourist season begins today in Happy Town. Alright, let's look at our peeps. Yeah, I think this is a good looking party. Sleeping here is so much better than the ground. Let's see what we got. Vay really drank us under the table last night. Visit Happy Town Hot Springs. Cities of the Plains. Happy Town regional map. Politics and power. Now there's more stuff over here. Go over here. Brain, Lucilia, News Standard. Happy Town, Hauntings and Ghost Tours. Alright, more of those pamphlets. Let's see what we got here. So I'll go ahead and read my formulas so I can get started clicking those. The regional map explains the geography of the area. Alright, 3 pages. The continent of Chrysilla has 2 continental dividing mountain ranges, the Dan Mountains of the west and the Alacrane Mountains to the east. Chrysilla is bounded by oceans on all sides, though a minor continent is close to the south. The Kintare Ocean bounds the east, while the Ekintil bounds the north and west, the Brassian Sea to the south. I don't know that I ever intended to pronounce these words. I just wrote them down. It is not possible to sail from the Ekintil into the Brassian or reverse due to deadly straits. The Sibian River begins in the center of the Dan Mountains and flows down to the Minoa Plains, far to the center of the continent, where it emerges into the Dalafine River, turns south and flows to the Brassian Sea. The Dalafine River has its headwaters in the northern Alacrane Mountains. It flows along the western side of the Alacrane Mountains, passing by the famous city of Za-Angrel, as it flows to the continental basin. The Sibian River flows into the Brassian Sea after crossing the Minoa Plains heading south. Kakat, a major port city member of the Free Nations, is located where the river meets the sea. Za-Angrel, a famous city on the edge, is located through the only major mountain passway into the Alacrane Mountains. Any other land crossing is impossibly arduous. In the North Dan Mountains, lies the Tilisad Canals, a system of waterworks that allows boats from the Western Kingdoms to sail up to the Orange River, into the Dan Mountains, and then through a series of locks and eventually onto the Savian River. This unites the Western Kingdoms and the city-states of the plains economically and reinforces their political allegiance. The far north of Chrysilla is inhospitable Badlands. The Badlands also exist on the far southeast coast, east of the Dan Mountains, and the far southwest, west of the Alacrane Mountains, and bordering on the Goblin Fiefdoms to their south. Oceanic passage along the south of Chrysilla between the western bounding ocean and the southern is not possible due to deadly, impassable rocks, tides, currents, and the straits between Chrysilla, Cree Island, and the continent that bounds the Brassian to the south. There is a map. I don't actually ever open it up to the player, but I actually made a map of the world using the environmental construction tools. So the Western nations and the city-states of the plains are both federations of city-states. They are united ideologically but are politically divided by the Dan Mountains. Full political unity between the two polities is too impractical. Nonetheless, there is close cooperation on matters of trade, managing the Tilisad Canal, and generally cooperating in trade disputes. Both federations are populated by many city-states with a variety of constitutional monarchies, representative republics, and direct democracies. All of these city-states exist within egalitarian frameworks. The Free Nations Trade Alliance is an international body of guilds that has members all across the Free Nations. Regulatory bodies have major transnational influence in these nations, and universal basic income is a given across all member polities. The Free Nations, as a cultural maxim, do not discriminate. For example, it is illegal to kill a creature simply because it is inherently evil. It must actually commit a crime. This is considered the ultimate rejection of Manicolan imperialism. Magical predeterminism is inadmissible in court. Like most democracies, it became that way from a need to create buy-in from otherwise disinterested and diverse array of people in the Free Nations. For many, being a member of the Free Nation is a blood right won in recent memory, and is a right that can be lost, such as in Za-Angrel, the capital of Alacrane. Za-Angrel is the newest member of the League of Free Nations, and the most precarious. It is situated in a major mountain passageway, the only passage with any capacity in the Alacrane Mountains. They were, as recent as 25 years ago, a vassal state and suzerainty of Osira. Osira is on the other side of that pass. Ostensibly, Osira allowed Za-Angrel to leave its grip in a time of reconciliation, but it didn't take long for established powers in Osira to chafe at losing control of the western portion of the Alacrane Pass. Despite that, the Sirens are the moderates in that land. The Necro Kingdoms, fiefdoms of undead, and are further east past Osira. South of the Necro Kingdoms are the Goblin Fiefdoms, while north is known as a bastion of Sorakoth. Recent trade disputes have highlighted irreconcilable differences between the Free Nations and the Necro Kingdoms. Few see peace on the road ahead. Osira graciously serves as mediator, helping negotiate conflict between the Necro Kingdoms and the Free Nations. Labor negotiations in Tilisad Canal work stoppage. The Tilisad Canal, major thoroughfare to trade and travel between the western nations and the Manoa Plains, came to a standstill while labor negotiations extended late into the new year. The canal is already overwhelmed with demand, and expanding is deemed impossible as the canal is dependent on natural snowfall in the northern Dan Mountains. Workers complain of increasing risk as shippers attempt larger hauls. The labor union is pushing for size and water displacement limits, while entrepreneurs claim established businesses are pulling up the means of success after themselves. Until the canal reopened, trade, including medical supplies, food, and processed ores, as well as the ambitions of tourist pilgrims and travelers, were put on hold. Citizens celebrated the reopening by ordering both a pint of domestic and foreign beer and judging their taste of the combination. There will be size restrictions applied by a board with members drawn from the Tilisad Labor Union, the Transnational Engineers Union, the Regional Dwarf Miner Sublocal Dryads Council, and elected representatives. The Dryads Council is a combination of environmentally minded citizens and Dryads who negotiate on behalf of environments. That board joins the council this year thanks in part to the Tilisad Labor Union and the elected representatives. The unions gain safety allies and exclusive access to organizing labor on the canal. There will inevitably be a total annual tonnage limit on the canal, leading to an inelastic supply with ever-increasing demand. The Tilisad Canal employs almost 40% of all people in the northern Dan Mountains. This deal should well increase the standards of living in the famously poor area. Osira engages in training exercise with Necro Kingdom forces. The Alliance of Free Nations denounced Osira's ongoing military training exercises with the Necro Kingdoms as permissive, foolhardy, and provocative. Necro Kingdoms continue to accuse the Alliance nations of waging a hate campaign and using fascism to solidify their weak political class's decaying grip on power and legitimacy. Since the dissolution of trade between kingdoms using undead and the Alliance of Free Nations, sabers have rattled at home and abroad. The ongoing training exercises allow the Necro Kingdoms to station large armies within threatening range of Alliance states. Former Osira Protectorate Za-Agrel and Alacrane is especially pressured. The presence of the armies and the large number of undead have made the Alacrane residents uneasy. Public rallies at the Osiran embassy against the present problems, combined with anger rooted in the public memory of Osiris Protectate, have led to angry exchanges and accusations of fermenting sectarian violence. Bradua, affectionately known as Ogre Lord, called for peace among the Necro Kingdoms and their alliance of free states. He stated there was no need to fear an arms race at this time. His leadership of Osira has been called into question by the remnants of the old order, who chafe and lament at allowing Za-Agrel to leave. Negotiations between the Associated Trade Federations and the Necro Kingdoms are ongoing and should give everyone a reason for optimism, said Ogre Lord. We will honor our eternal friends in Alacrane as well as the Necro Kingdoms. Yes. So, Happy Town Hauntings and Ghost Tours. We learn here that the Golden Goose Room 112 has been long closed due to disturbing visions reported by guests. This room is guaranteed to freeze your blood. Room is open mid-season. Honorific Graveyard. Legend has it that the faithful and the prayerful are rewarded here. Spirit of the South Woods. 100 silver pieces to tour to Penn Beckard Orchard, complete with meals, ghost stories, and rumors has a possible sighting. So, visit. So we got spas, gambling, camping, hunting, rock climbing, romance, adventure, childcare, music shows, dancing, and fine dining. Relax and have fun in Happy Town. Yes, we are on vacation. Well, some of the characters are. Not entirely clear which of my characters are on vacation or not. And one last thing. Let me look at their stats. Like what do you do? What do you do as a... How many hit points do you have? 11. Obviously because of my willingness to roll and re-roll dice to get stats I like. The guy ended up with a good constitution. So I'm thinking the monk really is my tank. I hope that the monk can really put out some DPS once I start, once you get past the level 12 content, I start giving the characters some incredible weapons to fight the gods. So we'll see if they can hang. Yeah, Vay's siren call to party isn't really like him. This whole world is uneasy. It seems to be hitting him rather hard. Hey, and there he is. Check it out. The man himself. Hey, Vay. Glad to see you. There's been a lot on my mind. I love you guys, but I can't talk right now. I'm too busy. I'm so sorry. But don't go far. We do need to talk. Could you do some errands for me? I just need you to meet people. Keep mentioning the archery competition. It would help me a lot if y'all kind of just watch my back, get to know people. Watch your back? What do you mean, watch your back? We'll talk in a bit. Speak to Hannock. I'm sorry. I'm in such a rush. So that's I think that's a newspaper I already read. Werewolves. Cave of Echoes. Werewolves of Love. His hair was perfect. A best-selling romance thriller. Cave of Echoes. What follows is a non-fiction treatise. The Cave of Echoes is a symbolic point in the story of many heroic narratives on the Minoan plains. The origin of the unique aspect of Minoan storytelling is unclear. In every story where it is featured, the protagonist gains some form of acknowledgement, gratitude, and power from the gods. The oral history of the Cave of Echoes extends to the Great Cataclysm, but it is not mentioned before. In the first known story, a paladin, her wizard companion, and two highly honored thieves quested to free their kingdom from a magical plague. In their journey, lost on an unknown path away from their quarry, they stepped into a cave. The pieces of the myth that remain describe invulnerable monsters and an impossible invisible maze. The poet Bard Climbing told of his journey into the Cave of Echoes. He wrote that running away would return you to where you began. Reality in the Cave of Echoes was itself, a circle leading you back always to some gallows, surrounded by buildings that the bard was familiar with and familiar faces bidding him death. He wrote that of all his adventures, the Cave of Echoes was the first where he felt true terror, and not under the influence of magic. He says it was by luck that he found his way out. Then luck he must have had indeed, because he says he found the guitar he used to legend as he left. Mythological half-elf Neron and her ranger companion Quitox were said to have found the exit by the mockery of the phantom friends. Their phantoms said, "So easy," again and again when Neron begged her phantom friends for help. Somehow she believed them, and that led to her escape, but the story is unclear how. Narratively, this writer seems to throw pasta at a wall and hope the plot sticks. The role for the Cave of Echoes in popular stories and mythology is to legitimize the protagonist in the minds of the readers. It has been an enduring popular folktale and has been applied again and again to many heroes' mythological collection. There has never been any evidence that supports claims that the myth is true. It is horrifying to think that the Cave of Echoes could be real. Survivor bias would lead us to only be aware of the people who survive. If the caves are as dangerous as the stories tell, most who ventured in the Cave of Echoes would surely die. The dead would be innumerable. Well, that's heavy. But The Werewolves of Love is a popular selling novel. Did I already get that one? Yeah, okay. I think I need to turn up the volume. Won't you take me to Happy Town? This following set is where much of the adventure passes through here. Happy Town is definitely like a central hub for this, adventure. You can imagine this is how I spent my summer vacation. Freeing Happy Town. Vacationing in Happy Town. I will say that there's a ton of interactions on this map, and as I've matured as a game maker with the Solasta system, I made the maps a bit smaller. with less dynamic stuff going on in any one map, so helps the load time improve. This is Happy Town. We come right out to a market. Exit right there, huh? Alright, so what kind of stuff do I have? A rapier. I think that when you are when you're a thief, your best bet is actually 2 short swords to start with. So I'm gonna maybe buy that. If I got any money. I got a little bit of money. Nobody wants my daggers. So I can't read this. Sell it. My habit is to keep the books. I read The Cities on the Plain. So what can this guy do? I think as a monk, I think you're supposed to keep one hand at least off. You need one hand to punch with, I think. Sorry, I really don't know the character class. Canceled contract. What a bummer. There's one other thing I remember. General, I think it's a good idea. I tend to, like on my rogues, I tend to like to cast magic, so I tend to like want to in advance already have some of the magic casting stuff I might need. Annie Bagmadel bought a cabin nearby. Happy Town is hitting the big time. Now a diplomat is here. I don't care if she's a junior. That's a ton of money. Good to see you. I hope you're keeping good track of your money. There's loads of investment opportunities if you play your cards right. Be in the shop business called the money season, huh? Arvel says, hey, good to see you. The tours are starting up. I give rich people the authentic explorer experience. Basically a daycare. This one guy got so excited I turned into a bear while telling a story. He practically bequeathed me lands and titles right there. Hi, Grumnir. Good to see you. I know you aren't the usual tourists in town. Yeah, I'm not rich. Starts air drumming. Still air drumming. Royal House of Governance doesn't usually look to this area. We've had a productive relationship with our partners out east. Mining is tough work. If you complained about affordable metals coming from undead mines, historically my role was assessing import quality control. Dwarves aren't excited to admit it, but when things need to change, they can change quick. We have previously identified traits that suggest this area has a few different bellicose veins, potentially interrupting each other. It could be a lucrative find. We are definitely bringing labor home, and we will not be using undead ever again. We are fully committed to our society's norms. We have old familiar mines, but there are rarer things we cannot find. We're not miners, Baron. Of course not. You don't have the shoulders, the hips, the ankles. Your legs are too wide and your knees are too tall. You'd never make it in the dwarf unions at all. There are significant finer fees for those who find mineral-rich caves, on the order of 30,000 gold pieces. Just keep it in mind, whatever you find. Alright, we got a quest. Find mineral rights. Alright, so this guy says, Hannock is at the Golden Goose. Holla howdy, if you want to party. Alright. I happen to know that this is the Golden Goose. So this is the first area in the Golden Goose where it's sort of open world. There's some optional content, but if you go get it, it can really like you get a tool that basically helps you hang with some of the tougher competition. Alright, we're going to speak with Hannick. No, you are not Hannick.
I'm seeing a hidden door.
If you're too drunk to find the party room, you shouldn't find the party room. Ah, bumping dance floor. I'm gonna win with this costume. We're vacationing from Zagreb. And I work in law enforcement. When I get back, it's gonna be nothing but work. Oh no, I was dancing on the table and it slipped. Oh, that couple's doing more than dance. Uh-oh. This is such a cool party. Glad everybody's chilling, Happy Town. Hi, Hannick. It's good to see you. It is good to see you four as well. What's going on? The weight of the world is bearing us down. I hear you. It's grinding me down as well. Happy Town is a happy place. People come here because they need us. I feel like I'm letting everyone down, but I can't push back against the world, not alone. We want to help, Hannick. Yeah, but we don't know what to do. Folks like you, the army, will be expanding soon, but they can't do it yet. They can't even officially announce they want to expand. It could trigger an incident. Meanwhile, Necro Kingdoms call their armies peacekeepers and stack them at our borders. They lie and say they feel threatened. Yeah, and I'm a bit at a loss of what to do. I need to prep our citizens, but I can't spread panic. Talk to some tourists around here. Many of them have been traveling abroad. Find out what the temperament of the outside world is, beyond our happy community. I heard a junior diplomat arrived last night. Meet the ambassador is our new mission. I don't think Hannick actually said, hey, please go meet the ambassador. So I might need to clear that up. Being the creator of this content, I am also seeing things I need to edit. Alright, hopefully I get a good roll here. I can pick this lock. Heck yeah. 5 plus 7. Oh my god, I barely beat that. I don't know, it would have taken me forever like to get a knock spell or something and open that door again. This is a very fancy hotel. Now this is the secret to know. Basically, if you actually tried to fight this fight as a level 1 party, you would die. There's no way to survive this fight. You really have no chance. But this is room 112. Good roll, good roll. Alright, I need one more good roll to get past this. Alright, I'm just thinking. Oh shit. One more chance. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, let's take a look at this. Something odd about the wall here. It says Very subtle, hard to tell. It's a nice looking hotel room. Let's see, I saw something. Yeah, you see that? So, I happen to know a secret. As a level 1 party, you're totally screwed if you try to stick this out and fight. But you can smash and grab. A piece of marble wall flakes off, revealing an ancient blade embedded in the mineral. You pull it from the wall easily. As you do so, phantoms begin coalescing in the shadows. You can flee right now. Uh-oh, get the F out of here. Your skillful knowledge of arcane arts allows you to curb the building energy. Your foes will not have to face you, or you will not have to face them at their full strength. Let's go ahead and close the door. Oh. The Harvester calls you to join us. Just close that door, lady. That's your main goal.
Arcana Oli Alvis.
Oh, that didn't work. Uh-oh. These guys are going to make it hard to close the door.
Ah!
I might just have to run. I mean, it sounds silly, but I mean, literally I cannot stand up to this army, especially when the archers show up. Alright, so to close the door, I have to go in there. I ain't going to do that.
Nice.
What was that? Oh, you got a critical hit. Dope. He has a bonus punch he could do with his bare hands +6. Sick. I see. I see. I wonder what my weapons in the hands of a monk will do. I'm not sure what that dynamic's going to do. I really need my rogue to step up.
Arcana.
Close that
Evo
door.
Malmis.
That's a miss. I just need my rogue to close that door really bad. Oh, don't kill her. Wait, okay, yeah, just close it. Boop. AI is not strong at, what happened to my knife? Why is my stuff on the ground? I don't get it, but okay. So the secret is that undead can't open doors. Ha 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 ha. Oh, someone appeared outside. Great.
Yeah! Lucky? Perhaps.
Okay, so now we're just gonna wait. These guys were summoned with the magic, but they don't have staying power. Alright, what happened to your gear? Just load me up. Your arcane knowledge has undone your foe's grip on this plane of existence, so many of them vaporized immediately. But we're not out of the woods yet. Ah, the negative energies tormenting this room begin to dissipate. So you have gained the Harvester. You managed to flee before those things could kill you, and then being undead, they could not open the doors. I'm so confused. Alright. because I didn't kill those guys, I didn't get any loot. I did get some experience, I think, from it. It says I gained a level. So, I mean, you only need 300 experience to get level 1. If you are smart enough to run away from that threat, you deserve to get a level. So, the Harvester. Do I not have to identify it? It doesn't do very much damage, but it has a very difficult save to avoid paralysis. And considering some of the extreme fights that are ahead, it's really valuable to have the Harvester to pin down very dangerous foes. It's a major advantage early on. In fact, the Harvester lasts pretty much right up until the end game. And the thing is that as you get to the end, you start fighting creatures that have exceptional saves, and they can resist a tool like that. Alright, so we gotta meet the ambassador. Man, I am running this game off a USB drive. I think I need to get one. It is not a USB drive. Excuse me for coughing. I'm sorry about that. Tourists do get lost. Sometimes people do go missing. The water is great, but any body of water is probably the most dangerous thing in the area. We don't know what happened to Hammerhand, Dan's farmhand. He was doing something on a missing flood wall, but he hasn't been seen since. Treacherous swamp is dangerous. Mud holes can swallow a man whole. Hope you can swim in plate mail. I'm going to be working my tail off on my feet for the next 6 months. But you can retire a wealthy woman waiting tables in a place like this. Of all my regulars, Clyda always seems to have a mission. She's always asking questions. Archery sounds cool, but I'm going to need to keep my feet up. I've seen a ghost. Oh, whoa. Near where we arbitrarily divide between Pleasant Forest and Pleasant Forest South. It was fleeting out of the corner of my eyes, vanished into the woods. I'm hitting the Bohemian camp in a bit, cosplay after that. I'm gonna win the cosplay contest. Junior Diplomat sounds diminutive as a title. It is in no way diminutive in rank or power. Some big celebrities this year. Clyda already rolled into town. The Diplomat, Annie Bogmodal. Holla holla if you like that dollar. There's nothing to the ghost stories. Treacherous swamp is tides. People don't expect. The whole place is a drowning pool death trap. That's why people go missing, and that's why it has that name. There's a rational explanation for all of that. I don't know why such a small body of fresh water would have tides. It's a theory. There's nothing to the ghost stories. Treacherous swamp is tides. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Hey, it's great to see you again. We love vacationing here. It's not true that a marketing strategy named this place Happy Town. It's because so many tourists say good things about this place, the name became synonymous with being happy. Having so many travelers, all speaking magically with tongues, does funny things to a name. We're gonna go all out at the cosplay this year. Lol, no, I cannot shoot a bow. Crossbow, that's my thing. Yesterday was dead tourist town, and today it's already getting started. It's like the tides of life coming and going. Like work. Heard about Barabos. We pulled together some money and food. What were they thinking in the first place? Our haunted hayride is a big money maker, practically paid for those stone walls. People always comment on the names around here. They were named for the benefit of tourists, using whatever spells to speak languages. Pretty clever if you ask me. There's something about naming a town Happy Town that makes jerks not want to live there. Happy Town lives up to its name mostly. Helps that folks can make a good living in the pleasant forest. Jerks be jerking around, but not in Happy Town. Summer season is starting up soon. Lots of tourists coming. I hate this time of year, but I do love money. I hate tourist season because I fell in love with one. Then he left. I'm worried he just remembers me as a fun summer memory while I pine. Oh my god, there he is. And he brought flowers. He's walking over here. Now go away. I saved up all year so I could come back to Happy Town and see my beloved Bitterroot. Do you think Bitterroot still remembers me? I wanted to hire Grood for our hunting party again, but he's been missing since he went to the swamp. It's not like him. Alright, Mordenkainen. Hi, this is gambling. This game costs 10 gold to play. If you win 99 gold. So if I roll better than a 19 or 20, I win. Otherwise, the house wins. I think I never win better. If I made 100 gold, I think I would actually come out even. Let's just see if we get lucky. 7. I'm broke. I can't keep playing. See ya. You have to be careful. It's a tourist town. They're not a big one. It's a well-heeled tourist town in the summer with a close-knit group of influential decision-makers often socializing and sometimes drinking. On the surface, there's not much to Happy Town, but were a spy to see this clientele, they'd know they hit the jackpot. I'm the personal chef, the Alluvian Confederation's second junior diplomat. It's very prestigious. The diplomat. Elleraine. I don't believe we've been acquainted yet. That's bold of you to walk up, but I guess you saw me looking at you. I thought it was just my nearsightedness, but you are pretty cute. Oh, I failed. Haha. She blushes. Oh, don't be such a cad, Lena. They are obviously smitten with you. Please let them down quickly so our food doesn't get cold. I'm joking. I do get to joke now and then. You four have been quite delightful. Let's hold a contest here and now. Pick one. That's some insight, bro. Alright, a contest of wit. Let's go with that. I'm not very witty myself. Recite the haiku 20 Kings of Anador, but sing it over a waltz. Improvise with the battle scenes with the percussive beatboxing. And tell a joke at the end. What the hell? That's not wit. That's like multi-level musician skills. Hell yeah, she stuck it. Wait, she stuck it? Not my... Wow, that was amazing and fun. Oh, I think I must have done that wrong because obviously whoever was... We've been excellent sports to talk to us more often. So I won something. Elleraine's drum. So who's more proficient at performance? Or is it just because I made a mistake in that dialogue and I need to recalibrate it so that this lady gets the actual performance? Her charisma's 13. Hers is 18. Yeah, she has a +6. +3. Okay. So it should be my... Who's got the persuasion? See, I kind of went... I was thinking... I didn't know I was going to use a bard at first, so I put persuasion and performance on my... my campaign actually does have roles for persuasion and performance, more than intimidation. So one thing I was saying I like to get is stuff like a circle thing I can put on my head. Just about anything. But it's going to be a while before I can do any magic as a rogue. So maybe I don't need to rush off and do that. Oh yeah, the drum. An attractive drum. Peering closely, you notice the letters T, T, and E. No, don't sell it. Holy shit. It's a safe bet. If you get it during the campaign and it's custom, it might be important. Alright, so meet the ambassador. We should speak to... So it still says meet the ambassador. We got the drum. That was pretty cool. Let's see, we got the drum. Then we got this quest here. It says, she gave us a novelty drum. We met an ambassador. Oh, you there. You've come back. I'll keep my eyes on you. You need a lap to sit on. Maybe you could just use mine. She winks at you. You're so silly, Lena. Okay. I came here because I desperately needed to relax. I'm worried about my stress hurting me. But what we hear, news reports every day, what's coming ahead, I may never rest again. Oh, my poor baby Elle. You'll get through this. We all will. There really won't be a war. You'll see. I had to talk to them for a little bit to get the real feelings out of her. You there, you've come back. I've got my eyes on you. Do you need a lap to sit on? Maybe you could just use mine. You're so silly, Lena. Is that going to cycle again? It's good to see you, but we must be going. Au revoir. Elleraine giggles at Lena's antics. Elleraine winks at you as it's time to go. Okay, so now we should go talk to Valen. Oh, here's Drew. What you got to say, Drew? I'll be playing the gazebo in half an hour. Nobody wants contrapuntal multi-voice performances anymore. They just want linear music in the Habarit style. How would you adopt elements of the Habarit style but eschew polyphonic voicing? The world just doesn't make sense. You're thinking of going to Zagreb? I canceled my trip there. I was supposed to play the Eastern Fringes. With what's going on, I'm too soft for that. Clyda is here. She's a great fan, great patron too. I hope she finds the tip jar. I'll be playing the gazebo in half an hour. Hey, good to see you again. We talked to this guy. Alright, Baron, we already talked to you. Find any good caves lately? Only my... never mind. Alright, let's go home. Bluebird House. Is it ever called the Bluebird House? That's crazy. I don't think anyone else knows that it's even called that, now that I think about that. So this is actually the Bluebird House. Doesn't have a label. No one else ever sees that, but it is a nice home. At a little hotel room or bed and breakfast or something. I always thought this guy This girl. Boy, they're thirsty. Alright, there's Faye. Sorry, I'm getting used to my keyboard. Hey Faye, good to see you. There's been a lot on my mind. You and everyone else. I don't mean to be trite. It's just that all the saber rattling out east has me spooked. Is it really worse than usual? I can't believe they demand we allow our undead on... You got to relax. Look, we're in Happy Town. The Necro Kingdom say being cut off from trade poses an existential crisis or threat. They said our rejection of their abominable creations reflect our hate and the gravity of the threat to themselves. They say our people are enslaved by labor and ought to be freed. Bedaros actually allowed undead caravans to pass through. Their crop yield suddenly plummeted. They kicked the undead out. 3 soldiers had to be revivified. And who could ever compete with that kind of free labor? Commercial goods from the Necro Kingdoms flood the market and lower our craftsmen overhead and grind them to dust. Yeah. I think it's an intentional strategy. The Necros are taking a loss to make sure our working class eats dirt, and profit-hungry enablers number among our elites. Yeah, well, you asked me if I think the saber rattling is real, and yeah, it's real. It's real heavy. We did kick the Necros out of the trade union. The Osiris hope they can keep the peace mediating, but I think old King Ogre Lord isn't up to the task. Sobs. Starts crying. I've seen you cry at every wedding we've gone to, and even this one time when you spilled your ice cream. What's up with the tears today? War is coming. I really feel it in my bones, and those damn Necros want our bones. You know it. War is so awful. It's a little more than trading lives. More souls is the cost of victory, but the Necros, it costs them nothing. They can lose forever and still come out ahead. Yeah, that does make the flowers seem small. I've been asked to organize our village's youth. We don't want to spread a panic, but this summer we're going to introduce archery. Not the normal archery. Everything has goals now. I need to identify who can be trained to fire a bow twice in the time a normal combatant fires once. I need to figure out who's capable of cunning actions on the battlefield. I see these kids, and now I see the warriors in them. In my dreams, I see their dead faces pleading, asking why I didn't do more. So I can't go flower hunting. There's something else. I told you guys I would splurge on tickets for us all to go to the city. I'm sorry, I spent it all on gear. Chainmail, swords, spears, and arrows. The market is backed up too. Everyone is buying. I can't afford the ferry tickets to Zagreb. I'm sorry. Babe, we respect your priorities. Can we help? I thirst for war. The wizard says that. I came all this way for nothing. Sassy little bard. You magnificent bastard. You always know how to get me laughing. I'm not yet officially licensed in as the town combat coordinator, but I will be. We've been asked to delay official recognition as oppositional forces could see it as an escalation. Soon I will need you to go to the capital. We may end up requisitioning boats by that time. Pleasant Forest and Happy Town are where the world goes to feel safe. We may be called to be a refuge. There are areas of Pleasant Forest I dare not go. We've lived with this for centuries, but no more. Treacherous swamp to the south. Make sure it's safe. Spider thicket in the east. We may need to hide families there. Clear it out. Just 3 years ago, there was that ghost scare. Pretty sure that was a rumor. Clear it up. I'm going to be hosting a weekly archery competition with gold prizes. 12 tiers of competition. Let everyone know. It's not for you four. You can't enter. Can we still pick flowers? You're going to need them. Please do. Now go out there and pick a whole lot of flowers and kick a whole lot of ass. I almost forgot. Last night I found your key. I think I was begging you guys to help me drink my anxiety away. Next time we drink, it can only be a celebration. Hey, we got a key. Yeah, Cassandra gains an item, your key, which unlocks our closet. Okay, what's over here? Oh, yes. There's not much in these treasure chests. I mostly set this room up so that players could weave gear here. So definitely one thing I'm going to be missing out on this playthrough is the heavy weapons. I don't think I have any characters that can actually use like a heavy axe. But I think they'll be able to use the pole arms. Ooh, lots of clothes. Wow, do I have anyone that can even fire a longbow? Maybe eventually my my rogue might get some sort of like bracers of archery that let her shoot a longbow, but right now I don't actually think I can use one. Alright, it's time to go kick a whole lot of ass and pick a lot of flowers. Oh wait, no, it's time to level up. I assume I have food. You know, so I finally get my cunning action. Finally. Alright, so I'm not familiar with monks, so this might take me a second. This guy got buku hit points, actually, so he's clearly got an element where he is a tank. His AC is 17, because he gets both his wisdom and his dex bonus. He doesn't seem to get like an unarmored bonus like a barbarian gets. Does he benefit from mage armor? Kind of curious. Mage armor. Still, there's a limit to this because like my end game characters, when I played this with a paladin and a barbarian, they both had ACs of 30, and I benefited a great deal from having at least one and possibly two characters that would sometimes have ACs of 30. So I hope he can do something like that. Okay, so starting the second level, training allows you to harness Mystic Kai. Your access to this energy is represented by Kai points. Your monk level determines the number of points. Okay, spend 1 Kai point to dodge. Dodge is a kind of tank. It's sort of a sneaky way of tanking. Step of the wind. So I can take a bonus action to disengage or dash. I don't know how to take advantage of jumping in Solasta. I fly a lot, but I'm not sure how to jump. Flurry of blows. After the attack action has been used on your turn, you can spend 1 Kai to make 2 more unarmed strikes. That's how they did that. When I got rocked in Baldur's Gate 3 by some monks, I wasn't sure how they got so many unarmed strikes against me, but I guess they spent Kai points to make it happen. Starting at level 2, your speed increases by 2 cells while you're not wearing armor or wearing a shield. That's actually pretty good. That's very comparable to some of the speed that you get as a barbarian. And bards have a lot of proficiencies. They're kind of like a rogue in that way, aren't they? Yeah, and the Song of Rest is actually pretty dope. I remember that. Alright, for class spells. You know, Bane is something I've learned is so underrated. When I started using Bane, I started realizing how good it was. It's really good against very powerful foes because it helps them be a lot less powerful. All right, so I think critically speaking, Shock Arcanists are like the best because all their AoE effects have +1 die. Green Mages, Sylvan Elves, Wardens of the Forest. They're also reliable bowmen. Being a reliable bowman is not very helpful, really, for a wizard because wizards have a lot of range spells already. Although, you know, until you get like 2 hit dice or 2 damage dice on your cantrips, the cantrips don't feel very powerful. So the lore masters end up with the thickest spell books. So if you use, okay, the war list, Burning Hands. It's actually nice to get a boost to Burning Hands, which isn't very powerful in its own right. Chain Lightning. So what's the drawback? Oh, so you get, if you're green magic, you get some druid spells and stuff like druid spells. And you can make arrows and bolts, which I think is kind of weird. Okay, advantage on Arcana. Advantage to copy scrolls. Those are actually pretty good advantages. But honestly, the fact that this doesn't exclude any spells and gives you a hit dice on top of it is actually very valuable. You can use a shield. That's actually pretty interesting because that can help you crank your armor class up. Okay, that's kind of neat, and I can see how this would be like a professional, you know, bodyguard sort of thing. I feel like this chick's all fire. She like became a wizard because she likes, not because she's a bad person, but she likes being a badass. And Arcana warfare, it's the kind of thing that that kind of person would do. Yeah, it's this early in the playthrough. The spell selection list is not very fun. It's not like there's a lot I'm interested in doing. Charm Person is good to like really turn an army against itself periodically. And I've read that Hideous Laughter is vastly underrated. So I don't normally take these sort of ad hominem spells. But you know, when it's this early in the game, you just don't have a big selection to choose from. Okay, does this mean I have Identify? Because I definitely need to be able to like be like, what is this? Although it might be a while before I get any magic that's useful for. Alright, we're at level 2s. So the first third of this campaign is vaguely open world in that there's like 3 or it starts off with I mean you got your 4 missions from Vey, but those will spin off into several other missions. So you do have some options as to what direction you move in. Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot the first time you do a long rest, you haven't long rested that day, so you go to sleep immediately, even though it's like, 11 a.m. And then you wake up and it's like the evening. Alright, let's get out of Happy Town. Although I don't want to really do a lot of exploring at dark. I love flying in this game. Now I will say this: flying becomes a big part of this campaign, but only like in the very end. Like I would call it, well, definitely in the third act, flying becomes more prominent with several puzzles that you can't solve without flying. Oh, it's getting dark, huh? Help, you hear a woman scream. A bear attack! A bear attack! I'm in a panic, Sil Lettleday says. I'm in a panic, but I don't know who to tell. A bear attacked me, and my family. We ran away. We're all okay. But our campsite, and that bear could attack again. Alright, whoa, a bear? Thank goodness everyone is okay. Yeah, who cares? Call animal control. Nah. Whoa, a bear. Thank goodness everyone's okay. You can calm down now. Head into town and tell Mayor Hannock and tell him we're solving it. Well, that's ambitious, Cassandra. She takes a moment to calm herself. South of the honorific graveyard, there are some hidden trails. That bear was visibly sick, foaming at its poor mouth. Be careful. It was just me, my husband, and our 2 sons. They're little kids. This music, not quite the right vibe I was going for. I might have to re-examine using this moody music here. Eternal Reunion Cemetery. Heroes of the 4th Invasion. Many gave their lives defending us all. We weep for you dearly, our beloveds, while grateful for what you have done. You who read this, look around you and know our nations thrive because of the brave souls interred here. Gonna lower the music volume. It's in my ears is very loud. Freaking failed with the 1. But it did tell me that this is the honorific graveyard. Dielen, hero of Brashan. Here lies Joe Schmidt, friend, husband, accountant, and warrior. As long as you fight for good, you will never fight alone. Joe Schmidt will always fight at your side. Seterath Gar II, son, father, husband, soldier, born a gifted musician, called to serve in war, slew Karnath Keg in a duel at the end of the world, lived to see his grandchildren thrive, died surrounded by loved ones in a knife duel, as his honor demanded it. In an act of euthanasia, we couldn't save him from cancer, and the world lost another friend. Oh my gosh. I rolled a 1 when I was over here, and now I don't get access to something. Such is life. Don't roll 1s. Moonflower. She said the threat was somewhere over here. This campsite was abandoned in a hurry. The fire burns unattended. Can she see the bear? I see the bear. I guess none of my guys are wearing armor, huh? So I don't have to deal with like penalties to being secretive. I think as a level 2 group, I outclassed the bear. I might not have outclassed them as a level 1 character. Oh, I can stay in hiding. That's even easier. But fuck it, I want to see what this guy can do.
Can't say I'm surprised.
So that needed to be my bonus action, I see. She can throw a dagger? That's funny.
Clumsy. What went wrong there?
That was a very poor damage roll. After slaying the sick bear, a cursory investigation reveals the bear's body. The bear's body had fresh bite marks on it. Punctures, as if from a wolf's mouth. Alright, so... Slay infected wolves. Found fresh bite marks on the brown bears infected with rabies. We did not find wolf tracks. We must find these wolves and exterminate them. The bear may have swam downstream, having originated south from where the bear was found. Syl said it was just her, her husband, and her 2 sons. There were clearly 5 people here at the start of the conflagration. 4 that ran away, and 1 that walked. Chewed up brown bear belt. Helped. Yeah, I don't really have any strength characters either, so this is going to make carrying challenging after a while.
Wait, a trap.
Whoa. Fools. They were already walking towards it. Oh, look at the wolves. Okay. I have not given away my hiding spot yet. So, does a monk, can they shoot a bow? Or just throw darts? Alright. You see that ladder there? If we could get up there, we'd be completely immune to these wolves. We gotta make it up to the top without them spotting us.
my fault.
I'm almost tempted to send this guy down there so he can just punch stuff. I just don't know how he handles ranged combat. Are darts any good? Oh, that was a lot of power. Critical. Nice.
Even the dead could hear you.
Did she roll 2 dice for her damage? Is the Firebolt on the war spell list?
Arcana Oli Almis.
Oh, come on. Don't miss like that.
Arcana Evo Malmis. Damn.
Definitely should have shot the other wolf. Alright, I just want to see what this guy can do. Well, that was impressive. He just delivers like a slew of extra damage through a handful of ways. Oh, wolf pelts? Really? This derelict tower is part of an ancient communication network. Sharp-eyed party members can see the next tower in the communication chain. The previous tower in this chain is due west, located in town. The next tower is northeast of here, across the river. It's a good idea to collect flowers early, because these flowers regenerate, right? And then you can end up with collecting a large number later, but you have to first pick them, and then they come back in much bigger numbers. Alright, so I've gotten all those. There's still a trap here. Maybe there was a trap there. Not that far away from my next level. Level 3 is where a lot of the real fun begins with your character's powers. So with that in mind, probably start killing spiders. So what was the mission? Spider thicket is a dense, difficult part of the forest. There are dangerous spiders inside. Clear spider thicket of dangers that can be used in the future. Bay is only concerned with the crimson spiders in the area. Okay, we're not going to kill crimson spiders yet. We aren't that strong. We've already been there. Okay, let's go meet these people. Now I'm going to wrap up recording, give my throat a rest. But I've had a fun time introducing my world of Tomb of Doom, set within the world of Solasta. Well, aren't I just the third wheel? Please don't tell anyone you saw us together. We're supposed to debut our coupleship at the ball. How scandalous. We're not supposed to see each other until the dance. But it hurts to be apart. Okay, and with that I bid you adieu. Have a good night.